The Pulse of Spokane is a broad show that showcases many different things in our community, sponsored by Local 29 Firefighters Union, Well Dressed Walrus, and Homes for You. Well, welcome to a remote edition, as we're doing this month, of the Pulse of Spokane, and I'm pleased to have a friend of mine on, actually. Scott O'Brien, how are you?
I'm good, Ken. Thank you for having me this morning.
If our friend Sean, who's your fleet manager and sales manager, can join us, he had to move to a different internet connection. We'll see if that works too. But tell me about what's going on in your logistics world today. And for those who had to learn, like I did a year ago, what logistics means, it means moving things, freight and so forth. And you built quite a very successful business with O'Brien Logistics. But what is going on right these days?
Well, obviously, with the economy and manufacturing, that it's just came to complete stop. Air travel has been limited, and so that's decreased air shipments, and basically transportation just fell down. The normal supply chain, with the bathroom tissue and that are manufacturing, those seems to be on track, a little slow, but we just have seen just a tremendous drop in business. And of course, right now is construction time, those seasonal type businesses. And so our concerns with our customers. That's our main concern. We've only furloughed one person, and that was the new person we hired for our office. And so we're still strong with our staff. We've been able to maintain, but we're hoping that we'll be able to see an increase in business here shortly.
So you're barely hanging on, but you're hanging on at least, and
Yes.
ready to move things around too. Yeah, what worries me is the lack of ability, at least in this state in Washington, to build homes. And we keep talking about the homeless population and the price of homes because of the few number available and so forth. And then we stop the stream. I mean, the river upstream, and it's completely clogged, and we're not building anything except some major projects, community projects in the area. But even those, I think I saw something like 400 and some thousand $1 million of projects are even on hold. So it's a tough time for everybody. What are you hearing from some of your clients that you normally work with? Are most of them pulling back? Are most of them at least doing something?
Some of them are fulfilling emergency orders. There are some that go across the states, and so there are some states that are not as restricted as Washington, and so we're able to move some, and like some of the major building that you were talking about, we've been able to move some items to those essential items, I guess is how they're listed. We still have been able to move a few medical shipments, obviously with blood samples. Transplant body parts that come in. Those are emergency type things, but our standard, to Seattle, Portland, daily routes have just came to a halt. So
really tanked, huh?
Yeah. And
what about Canada? Because that hasn't really been restricted, has it? Like people visiting back and forth.
Well, there has been some restrictions on just normal people going back and forth across the border. However, as a transportation company, we're allowed to go through there. Obviously, we submit our information, hours before we get to the border. So they'll tell us whether it's been, it's essential or not. And we haven't had no issues there. And so that's still flowing.
Good.
It's just the amount of business that's out there is just really fallen off.
Yeah. Now, do you send more north to Canada or bring more south to us?
We go more north. More north.
Oh, more north. Okay. That's
Yeah.
interesting. Well, that's
And
good
we
for
do
our
a
area.
lot of what happens is you have a lot of southern states and back east that are not familiar with Canadian processes to cross into there, and so we've taken that and they've come to warehouses, distribution centers in this area, and then we've been able to take it from here and go across. And we're very efficient with the documentation and the systems. We're fed into the customs systems for both Canada and US. So we can supply documentation quite easily.
I know we've talked about that before because you've really developed on your own a system, a great documentation system, a billing system, all integrated and so forth. For those who are listening to you the first time, talk about that a little bit because I found that really fascinating.
Yes, we started the business. I actually started it in December of 2017, but we didn't actually officially haul our first load until first. Well, actually, it was like May 27th or something, or March 27th of 2018, because I took the time to build a foundation I wanted to make sure that we had technology,
Right.
processes, and more importantly, data in place. What I didn't anticipate was they always say you need to have at least a good accountant and good lawyer and something else. But,
Yeah.
I count on so much on the accounting and the different buckets. I wasn't very well versed in that. So we've had to make some adjustments over the last year because of all the different aspects that have come in. But Bobby Birchfield, who works for me. She has taken that ownership of it. She's got it squared away, and now we're able to present this data along with our other data cleanly. And we went through our safety audit with Idaho State Police. They tell you to plan on 4 or 5 hours. We completed that audit in
Wow.
45 minutes because our data, we have everything listed,
Oh,
our
wow.
mileage, what our miles are, how many miles we run through each state, our safety messages. We put out a safety message daily. And then the safety programs that we go through every month, we have a topic that we talk about. So
My guess is that saves you a lot of money too.
I think up front it was costly up front.
Yeah.
However,
Yeah.
I I now see that investment is well paid off. It has saved us. I don't know how many times with our insurance, our commercial insurance is skyrocketing, and the data has really returned its own investment. I mean, the ROI on it has been huge. And Bobby's process driven. I'm process driven. That came from corporate America, and sometimes
Yeah.
we have to pull ourselves back when we realize that as a small business we don't have to move as fast. But that's just from
Yeah.
being raised in that culture.
Tell me about your employees because you talk about them a lot in terms of how important and how good are they?
Um, I I was always taught that you better surround yourself with people better than you, and
Yeah.
here I've got Sean that's supposed to join us today. Here he has retail experience. He didn't have a lot of logistics, on the ground type experience.
Right.
So he started in a truck to get the experience, and then he's worked his way to where he is today. And he just goes after it. He's focused. He doesn't offer excuses. He offers solutions. He'll try to find his best, even if we have to give the that shipment to somebody else. He finds a solution. The buck stops with him. He doesn't like excuses. Bobby has
That
come in. He has taken our data. She's gotten it scored away. We can pull up any report at any time and tell exactly where we are. And she only wanted to work part time, and here she's been working 40 hours a week. But we finally got her to where she's working 20 to 30 hours a week. But I would not exist without them. Their wisdom, their
yeah.
input, we always look at things and say, hey, we need to get different perspectives. We're not afraid to bring in an outside source to look. And
Right.
then
Right.
Keith has been with me as a driver for about a year and a half. And I need to clone about 10 of him. He just gets the job done. The customers ask for him specifically. And so we have a culture that not everybody can fit into. And we actually also present that to customers that we don't want to have a customer that's that costs us time and money and effort. And then, so we're very careful in that as well. We want to make sure that we have a good, solid process so our customers get the best of everything.
Talk about the services you have, because it's more than just from A to B, and it's more than just freight. You'll send household goods and things like that. So give our audience a perspective of what you can do.
Well, we started as an expedite company to pick up from the airports and then deliver final mile to, a mill or whatever, or a hospital. But we quickly found out that people need shipments that are not full. They're 2 or 3 pallets, but they need to get them right away, and they can't go on normal transit. And so they just started calling us. We do routes to Seattle in a matter of hours instead of the next day. We can go up to 800 miles in a day with some of our sprinter teams. We can go across the country in sometimes 55 hours or less. And so, from point A to point B, we have the 20 foot to, or 16 foot to 40 foot flatbed trailers that you see pickups pulling.
Right.
Those are designed for pipes and things that can't, why pay for a full truck when you can have these? And then offer sometimes a same day project may come up. And so that's where we really step up to the plate and can deliver same day. Then we've gotten into the brokerage, truckload brokerage. We're an agent for Warren Logistics and Freightology. And so if somebody has a need for a full 53-foot van or LTL or even a flatbed, we can supply that information. In fact, I just have a flatbed load now, just come out of Delaware, heading down to Georgia. So we work all over the globe.
Yeah. Well, that's great. We're running out of time. So, Scott, how can people get a hold of you and your company?
They can reach us at 208-305-2311. Also look at our website, o'brienlogistics.net, and we're on Facebook. Our website is a little bit behind, but we're getting it updated as soon as we can. So, but we always want, and we provide proactive tracking.
Okay, great. Well, thank you. It was always a pleasure to see you again. I haven't seen you for a couple of weeks, and you and your staff and team take care, okay?
You too, Kent. Stay healthy.
Thank you. Thanks for watching this special edition of the Pulse of Spokane. Have a good day, everybody.
Here at River Ridge Hardware, we can match any color for you. So you need this color matched for your trim in your bathroom. Come to the color computer, stick it into the spectrometer, and allow the machine to do its thing, and it will match your trim exactly. So whether it was done by water damage or a young child, we can get you covered and get it matched. If you do need to have something so that it completely disappears, I can certainly help you with that one as well. Along with the spectrometer color matching capability that can match any competitor's paint color, we have a beautiful color palette that can help you start any new project. Give us a try.
After I got divorced, I had medical debt, credit card debt, and student loan debt. I was dealing with a lot of guilt. I found myself shopping to feel better. When my son was born, wanting to manage my finances was no longer a want, it was actually a need. STCU made that possible for me. I use the mobile app every single day. I'm able to color code all of my different savings accounts. And when you have nice things to look at, I think it brings you on a deeper level of motivation. I'm Kamika Love, the Budget Mom, and STCU is here for good.
Well, this is Bloomsday in Spokane. We got about 40 firefighters and their friends and family handing out 40,000 cups of water as the day goes by.
It's a very good opportunity to see the public and support them and help them out and cheer them on during Bloomsday.
It's one of the best things about Spokane is that we have these major events and the whole community comes together not just to participate, but to volunteer and show that they really care about our city and making our city look great.
This type of an event really is emblematic of Spokane because so many people get involved. We have 50,000 people probably running this race. Always has been a very huge event.
Right now we're at the corner of Broadway and Nettleton. It's the last water station before the finish, so people are pretty much dehydrated by the time they get to us. They really need our water.
The water stations are a vital part, especially on warm days like today. It's real important that we have the volunteers to help with that. Without the volunteers, Bloomsday wouldn't exist.
All up and down the course, there are people that are involved in this celebration. It really is a celebration of what Spokane's all about.
Thanks for watching. Ask the host a question, recommend a guest, or check out any of our other programs on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or SpokaneTalksMedia.com. Sponsored by Local 29 Firefighters Union, Well Dressed Walrus, and Homes for You.